Here we go. Time to fit this pulling collar up and get her off to the mail to the man that requested this one. And but first, before I get into this, I've got to thank Sam Hall for kind of pushing me to build these better. And I was looking to a little more of a better quality of rope, something doesn't stretch as much. And yeah, I wish it was brown like the old rope I was using, but I just cannot find that blend anymore. And then come to find out, this lays really nice, lays flat. It's heavy. It's got good weight to it, and it ties really, really easy. So, and then also Sam kind of quietly pushed me to learn how to build these gaucho knots because those leather buttons, basically, those just, I mean, I don't know. Some people liked them. I just didn't like them. I wasn't satisfied, but it was an excuse for me just to not learn to build these. But it took me a little bit, and then I just started looking into how to build these. And yeah, they're, maybe a 7 bite or a 5 bite, but they look cool, and I can do all kinds of colors, like I said before. And so let's get this thing put on. So I've got my tugs on here already. And the way this attaches is just basically just like a tie halter. So I'm going to start over on this side first. Come through, under, over and through there. So we're going to come around, and I want this more or less, here we go, I'm going that, the knot centered right into her chest. So we're going to come through, under, over and through. Okay, so basically, there we go. It's attached to the saddle now. And then instead of using a snap, I went with a rain connector that I build. I just think they look cool, and it just metal and snaps just didn't fit on this. And it took me a while, and I sat for a minute, and I thought, well, just grab a rain connector and let's see how this works. And I think it looks pretty cool. So we're going to come under here, and we get to my first ring. And over time, if these rain connectors ever rot, break, snap, or you need a new one, they're not hard to build, but call me. I'll build you one. I'll get it in the mail to you ASAP. So now we're set. I think I'm pretty happy with the tightness. Everything's on here. And push these up a little bit here. And these do nothing to hold this in place. It's just I push it up there because I want to leave kind of this open. I think it looks nicer. And then give a little more exposure to the white here. So there we go. Now Hazel, she's 14 too, but she's about as wide as she is tall, a little bit stouter than some. So this collar was built for a smaller horse and probably something a little more narrow chested. Um, and so what I had to do was figure out a way to kind of build something that's adjustable to a 14.2 horse as stout as she is to a 14.1 horse that might be a little bit more narrow. But also this will work as well on something that's a little bit bigger, but like Argo, more like a thoroughbred that's a little more slender in the front end. And this can be adjusted to fit her as well. Now, one thing I did have to look at when building these tugs was the width of your swells. And when I'm talking about width, I'm talking about here. And so on your associations, your ropers, your Tucsons, and everything in between, they're built different. And so I find that this saddle is a little more narrow here, but the 3 wades that I have in the tack room, they're all about 1/2 inch to an inch bigger out this way. And what that does is that takes up a lot of space in your tug. And so I think instead of kind of custom building these to everyone's saddle, they're just going to come in a little bit longer length, which will either give you a shorter tail or a longer tail, but either way, they hang nice and they stay out of your way. And there's going to be very, very little stretch to this rope. I mean, but there's always some. And you'll find after a while, if you're doing a lot of roping, that this knot will pull tight. So as it pulls tight, these will get just a hair longer. But there again, we can either make the adjustment here to here, or another trick that Sam taught me was on some of these pulling collars, what you can do is, this is a touch too long, you can take this tug right here and cross over that way and bring this tug on this side and come over this way. And what that does is start to pull your collar up a little more here, but it does take some distance out of it if it was to end up all the way up here. And so I'll just kind of demonstrate that real quick. Let's get this through here loosely. All right, so we'll go ahead and undo this side. I'm going to throw this tug over here. Throw that tug over there, and I'm going to come through here just lightly. Now, it's probably going to be just a little bit tighter on her than what we're looking for, but just an example. So this tug, cross over here to this one. There we go. So you can see they can always pull a little bit tighter. You got an X right here, but instead of taking it up here, it's taking it over here, which takes a little bit of space out of there. So let me go ahead and get this side undone over here. We'll start at the belly. Get this off the girth. All right. I'm going to drop this side here. I think after a while, once I start really getting the distance of this, how much rope is going to work for the two different sizes I build, is I'll take some of the excess rope that maybe isn't long enough to build tugs, or it's just extra rope. I'm going to start trying to build some matching hobbles for these collars as well. And then also, just for the hell of it, just a good neck rope, Alamar neck rope. I'm not really going to put these on the market, I don't think. There's just something a little more to this as a neck rope than this as a breast collar. And those that understand the Alamar knot, it might make sense to y'all. But I'm going to be working on a few of these and then finish them off with a type of knot of some sort, but leaving this free. And I just think those look cool on certain horses. So there we have it, the Alamar breast collar. This one's ready to go. I'm pretty satisfied with the size of it, and I think it'll work good for the man that requested this one. And now that I know that all of this rope's going to work, I might try to dye it at some point and see if I can change the colors, but that's not a pressing issue right now. I'm just going to start, tie these as tight as I can, or braid them as tight as I can, and then really get proficient at getting these gaucho knots done in a hurry, and then just finding different combinations. So I hope that works. I hope it's understandable on how to get this adjusted, but here we go. Hazel.